Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And I almost said good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com. And I'm joining me today is my good buddy Bernie Sanders here. We are going to look at some of the Future State comics that came out this past week. And a lot of hype has been put into the Future State. It's like, oh my God, it's the first this. Oh, it's the first that. This is the direction things are going. No. Let's be clear about this. This is Elseworlds. This is Bloodlines. This is Armageddon 2001. This is not the future. This is a future. In fact, this is many futures happening all at one time. There is absolutely no coherence between one title to the next. So, as Alan Moore said, this is an imaginary story, aren't they all? And I'll start with the best of the three that I picked up, and that would be Flash. You like Flash, Bernie? I thought the Flash was pretty good. Unfortunately, Brandon Vietti's writing this, and he's not an assistant editor's month pick, so he's not like a tryout book. Some of this is tryout book level stuff. This one is not. Dale Eaglesham is the artist. It's very well drawn. The only thing I would throw at it is that I'm getting tired of the Wally West is the bad guy villain. Why is he always the weakest-minded of the Flash people who can be turned? So apparently what's happened in Death Race 2021 is that Wally has been corrupted by an entity. Very much, okay, so we're very much stealing the whole Emerald Twilight thing as well. He's been corrupted by something that's taken him over. He can't control himself. It's Parallax, pretty much. You remember Parallax. Parallax, what he did to Hal Jordan, something's doing it to Wally West. And now we've got Wally is traveling the world. He's killing people. He's stolen the speed from all the speedsters. So from Barry Allen, from Impulse, from Max Mercury, who I thought was dead already, from Jay Garrick, and from some new Flash person here that I don't know. She wears purple with lightning bolt. There she is. And to be honest, I haven't seen the Justice League where there's the non-binary Flash. So if I have to say there they is, there they. Do you use the plural linking verbs when you use the non-binary pronouns? I don't know the new grammar yet. But there is the purple-suited Flash. I do not know who that purple-suited Flash is. I'm going to start using a lot of proper nouns in my language. Anyway, they have no powers, so what they've done is they have taken all the weaponry of the Flash Rogue. You remember the Flash Rogues? Yeah, Flash Rogues are cool. So they got the Rainbow Raider technology. They've got the cold guns. They're going after the Thinker's helmet, and the Thinker runs Checkmate now. Also that they can turn Jay Garrick's helmet into a Thinker helmet and then use it to locate Wally West and save him. It doesn't quite go as planned, and Barry is giving up hope at the end of it, and he's ready to use the rest of the weapons to find a more, shall we say, final solution to the problem of Wally West's possession. This was actually an exciting kind of story. I liked where it was going. I went in knowing that, hey, it's just an imaginary story. Nothing's going to stick here, okay? So yes, they ruined Wally West again, but not really. They ruined a Wally West. And they can do that as much as they want. This, Future State Kara Zor-El Superwoman 1. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Love that. I got the Virgin cover, and fortunately it had, Supergirl on the cover, so I knew what I was getting. It was a Supergirl comic, a Superwoman comic. Sorry, this is the future state. How far in the future? Don't really know. But far enough to be far, but near enough that nobody's like an old person. It could be tomorrow. It could be 10 years from now. Interior artwork is by, who is this by? Marguerite Sauvage. Gorgeous. It's also written by a Marguerite Bennett, so a pair of Marguerites. And this is interestingly drawn. It's got a sort of a watercolor look to it. It's also got a sort of a anime look to it. This is throughout drawn this way. I could dig it. Unfortunately, the story is crap. It's nothing but Superwoman living on the moon with a moon colony. So that's pretty far futuristic, I would think. And trying to be a paragon of peace. Her role model, because she didn't get a role model from her parents who rejected her to another planet entirely. She didn't get a role model getting to take care of young Clark because he arrived before she did, and therefore he grew up and had to take care of her. She didn't get to fulfill her destiny of being the caretaker of the last son of Krypton. She didn't look up to Clark as a role model because apparently, he shunted her off to another family to raise her up because he is busy being Superman. The only role model she had was the dog, Crypto. And, Crypto, I don't think it's a spoiler to tell you what's on the very first panel of the very first page. He dead. And she's standing over the little tombstone there on the moon, wearing... She's not in action a whole lot anymore, so she can wear this ankle-length skirt and just kind of parade around as, Superwoman of the moon. And no sooner than she wonders what she's going to do with her life than, hey, a rocket ship crashes on the moon with a teenage girl inside it. Oh, my goodness. What fate? What history repeating itself kind of thing. And this girl is completely fluid, completely white. She's a shapeshifter. She's an energy drainer. She has all these powers that were given to her by her parents. She gets into a fight with Superwoman before she realizes who Superwoman is, or the fact that despite she knows who Superwoman is, she goes through mood swings that are insane. It's like she's happy one minute, she's frustrated the next, and there's really no provocation for any of it. She gets all her powers from a diamond in her head. See, she can open up her head and show you that diamond. This is crazy. And the entire thing is Superwoman walking her around, telling her how to be her best self, how to make her own way. Oh, let's build a dam because we can expand the moon colony, all this, and make things better for people. And the entire time, the crowd of people who live there are completely disaffected by anything Superwoman does. In fact, they'd rather she not be there. They're giving off this total impression that, we're being looked over by Supermom. In fact, even the visiting alien says this. And nothing picks up until the visiting aliens' relatives, I guess. Whatever they are, they're coming after that jewel in her head. They think she took off with it. They think she's a traitor, a murderer, and they're willing to, get her back, and then they're going to eradicate the whole moon colony for giving her shelter. And what's up with that, really? Anyway, it gives Superwoman something to fight. Too little, too late, but there you have it. Finally, there's this one. Because I saw that Wonder Woman cover and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read this Wonder Woman comic. I heard a lot of good things about the Wonder Woman comic. And somebody said this in one of our other streams, and I'm going to reiterate it here. This is why you don't put the frickin' title on the spine. You put it at the top where people can see what you are buying. especially if you're going to cover it with something that's not the cover. This is Future State Superman of Metropolis #1. This is something I would not have bought had it said Superman of Metropolis #1 at the very top of it. But I got it, so ready to dig into it. It is John Kent, still of an indeterminate young 20s, late teens kind of age, half human, not fully Kryptonian. This is written by Sean Lewis. The artist is John Timms, whom I've not heard of before. The art is actually very well done. I like the art. This is a state of being where Metropolis in the future, John Kent and Kara Zor-El have beaten Brainiac. But they left behind some skin samples, I guess, when he was burned alive, and some enterprising billionaire, entrepreneur, tech genius named Trojan. Because if you're going to have a Trojan horse virus, of course your last name's going to be Trojan. Used it to build some AI cells. In fact, he creates this new Brainiac called brain cells. Now, it's one big orb with a bunch of mouths. This is obviously following in the MODOK motif, where, you know, you're going to be a big head. Well, this one's just a big bunch of big mouths. And it is controlling the city of Metropolis through artificial intelligence cells that are in everybody's bloodstreams. So they're less predictable. They've lost their freedom. Some of them have not. And John has just kind of been letting it happen and keeping the military out, because the military wants to come in and fix things. Metropolis has cut itself off, called itself the sovereign state of Metropolis, and yeah, that will get the military intervention going. So what Superman's, it's hard to say that for John. What Superman's solution is to keep the military out, keep the city of Metropolis safe, and protect everybody. He shrinks it and puts it in a bottle. Brain Cells is very proud of him. He said, "Oh, hey, what a novel solution. I'd have never thought of that." Anyhow, he takes the bottle city back to the Fortress of Solitude, puts it on a serving tray, and says, "Okay, now that I've gotten this here, and I've dragged Brain Cells along behind me," it's a horrible name for a villain, Brain Cells. Now I can figure out what to do and how to help them. Well, that's when the other Kryptonian, the real Kryptonian, shows up. Kara Zor-El. Notice no skirt, no moon colony, much angrier, not connected to Superwoman, the title, at all. This is a completely different continuity, completely different line. These are all Elseworlds titles. This is all Assistant Editors Month for 2 months. Don't get attached to it. Don't get upset by it. Nothing's going to happen to your characters. Anyway, Kara's pissed enough that she punches him. They get into a big old slobber knocker fight because she thinks he did the wrong thing by shrinking Metropolis down and carrying it off out of the United States and putting it on a tray in the Antarctic. I don't know why, but she did. And the army shows up. Kara's outside with him. Brain Cells is wired with something that glows whenever Supergirl shows up because it's some new element that is not kryptonite, but it has an effect on Kryptonians, and it didn't affect John because John's not Kryptonian. Anyway, it's deadly to them, so they get aggressive around it without knowing why they're getting aggressive around it. And that's why Supergirl was acting so aggressive to John. And Brain Cells, being, Brainiac, basically, takes over the thing. He's in charge of the fight, and that's where we leave it with a to be continued. But it's not over, because this is one of those anthology books. So we also get Metropolis's other hero, Shiloh Norman. Is that his name? I think. Anyway, he's the Mr. Miracle, and they're looking to him for hey, Mr. Miracle, why is there a big glass wall around the city now? Can you do something about that? And he does a lot of flying around, looking at it, asking Mother Box questions. Mother Box's response is always the same. I don't have enough power. I'm running out of power. You shouldn't do this. I don't have enough power. Why the fuck doesn't she have any power? You don't plug her into AC. She's a goddamn Mother Box. She runs on nothing. You never saw Jack Kirby's characters sit there and get a USB port and say, excuse me, I got to charge up here. I've only got 2 bars left on my Mother Box. So that was a little insane. He's directing all her power to flight and taking out these robots that, as soon as he approaches the glass wall of Metropolis, these flying robots come in and attack him. Whether they're brain cells robots or Superman's robots, nobody knows. It's not explained. And he gets slammed to the sidewalk, and here comes in the robot for the kill. Continued next issue. Not a whole lot at stake here other than the fact that it's a fight and we get to see it over 2 issues. Still not over, because now we have Guardian has a story in here. So, the other superhero of Metropolis. Yes, they literally called Shiloh Norman the other superhero of Metropolis. And now we get to see Guardian. So Guardian is obviously not superpowered. He's talking with Jimmy Olsen, who's like saying, hey, we got to figure out why we're in this bottle. I've been sneaking around the city, putting graffiti up with a Superman symbol, says he needs your help because I hope that Clark will see it and realize, okay, here's the thing, Jimmy. If Clark didn't notice a city missing, he's not going to see within the city little spray painted signs on the corner of a building, Superman, he needs your help. The city is missing, Jimmy. There's a big friggin' hole in New York. Superman will know if he's on the planet at all. The Metropolis is missing. If he's in Metropolis, he's going to know that there's a big glass wall around the city. Superman is dead. Just go with that. He's not around. There's nothing. He's not coming back. This is all John's show now. Anyway, there's some terrorist. She's got a bomb. She wants people to be honest with themselves. And honestly, she thinks they'd be better off if they would just go to the glass wall and break it by any means necessary. So, Guardian's like, we have no idea what happens if we crash the glass wall. It might suck us all out like a decompressed airplane. Or, it might just shower glass chunks down on the entire city, huge ones since you're encased in it, and just slice everyone to ribbons. So, yeah, maybe, breaking the glass bottle is not a great idea. And during all of this, while he's driving this truck bomb as far away as he can from the site that she was going to blow up, we get to hear why he came to Metropolis, because he was a kid and I'd hang over the side of my couch, staring upside down at my television. And I'd see Black Lightning and Steel, heroes who looked like me. Therein lies the lesson. That was the point. That was the whole point. That's what prompted him to become a hero. Not because he saw people being selfless. He saw people who looked like him. That's all you need to know about that one. He drives the bomb out. It explodes. We don't know if he survives. He probably does, because there's a second part to it, and it's his story. So, I haven't done comic book reviews in a while. I may do more. There was actually a good book that came out this week from DC. They ended the DC Dead Planet. It was a bit of a rush job. I thought that could have been done a little bit more succinctly. But other than that, thank you, Tom Taylor, for giving me something entertaining to read. With that being said, I'm just going to finish my coffee. Decaffeinated, thankfully, because I don't usually get ranty about comic books. Not in a long time anyway. But those, here's the thing. Save your money for 2 months and then come back when the real DC universe is here. That's what I plan on doing, and we'll talk more about comics then. Bernie, you have anything to say to folks? No. You can't talk. Anyway, thanks for coming by, guys, and we'll see you tonight when we'll have more interviews coming up. We will be talking with Outlaw Nights at 7 p.m. Central.